A new Disney animated musical with a female person of color lead and an actual villain? Oh boy, I can't wait for this one. Wait, everyone online is telling me how terrible this movie was. Now I'm nervous. Guess I'll just have to see for myself. Well, that was definitely one of the movies of all time. Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your BFF Snowy Aria 663 here right now, and I went to go see Wish with my family this Thanksgiving. I can't tell you how excited I was for this one. I still avoided the trailers, of course, as I always do, but knowing the small things like an original animated musical, a real villain, a beautiful design for the female lead, and the origin story for the iconic wishing star really got me excited. So, with all the hatred online, what did I think of the new addition to the Disney family? Well, it was cute. Not good, but cute. I think right off the bat, it's important to state how this is very much a kids movie, which you might tell me is obvious. It's Disney. But no, that's not what I mean. Disney makes movies aimed at families, yes, but they are films that can be enjoyed by people of all ages. Think about movies like The Fox and the Hound, Hunchback of Notre Dame, or even Lilo and Stitch. All of those movies are made for kids, but have things that adults can only pick up on and makes it worthwhile to watch for people of every generation and age. This movie is strictly for kids, and it feels like it's not made for adults really at all. From the talking goat that adds nothing to the movie, the very superficial message, overly pop soundtrack, and the constant need to dumb things down made it a bit of a drag. Let's talk about Asha. She has a beautiful design and voice. Her motivation is pure, she's kind and a brave individual. Then why is she so forgettable? She constantly flip-flopped between being a blank slate of a generic hero female lead and being a quirky and dorky protagonist in the likes of Rapunzel or Anna. These switches never flowed organically, and often felt like they just threw them in to make her more relatable. But instead of creating a new Anna or Rapunzel, they instead made a diet version of them, seeming similar enough but not distinct enough to feel like anything but a cheap imitation. It really let me down here because I could have easily seen this character in a lineup with the other Disney princesses, but instead, she would have been just as memorable as Elanwi, and we all know how that turned out. I won't pretend I know anything about how songs are written. Basically, I like songs mostly for their beat. So I enjoyed 2 songs in this movie. Yeah, 2. The villain song and the Knowing What We Know Now one. I can't really remember much of any of the others. The soundtrack has a very poppy sound to it, maybe because the songwriters had more experience working for Selena Gomez and Justin Bieber than in musical theater. My theater's audio was pretty terrible, so I couldn't catch most of the lyrics, but looking them up online made me just even more confused. This is probably Disney's weakest soundtrack in a while. I also want to touch on the references in this movie to other Disney films. Being the big celebration of 100 years of Disney, I figured there'd be some references in here or there. A few I liked, such as Asha wearing the fairy godmother's cloak or Asha's friends being the 7 dwarves. However, they went a little too over the top. This isn't a spoiler, by the way, since it adds nothing to the plot, it's just a reference, but they literally have Peter Pan show up, reference Peter Pan again earlier on, talk about Mary Poppins, and hint at the magic mirror and all that. And the credits even have constellations of every single Disney movie instead of having anything to do with the movie we just watched. These constellations show little pictures that represent every Disney movie in order. However, they skip over the wartime era movies except for Ichabod and Mr. Toad, which just hurt more than anything else. You can skip Melody Time all you want, but I will not handle Saludos Amigos erasure in this house. After all, it is Disney's gayest musical Technicolor feature. And speaking of Asha's friends, because there are 7 of them, I can't really remember anything about them other than their trait they share with their dwarf counterpart. I can barely remember any of their names. Okay, Asha's friends speedrun. Let's go. Simon, I know that one for sure. Delilah. No, Dahlia. Babushka. Nailed it.
Greg.
The other thing I want to talk about is the villain, who was easily the best part of the movie. I do think that 2 villains were mashed together to create this one, as he starts out as quite sympathetic and almost correct in the beginning, but ends up turning into an evil, unstoppable monster almost as fast as Anakin Skywalker in Star Wars. It felt nice to have just a bad guy, and honestly, I preferred his monster version more than his sympathetic one. I think I'm just starved on Disney villains who are just evil because. Lastly, the ending. I won't spoil anything here, but it felt extremely clunky how they end up saving the day. Almost as bad as an episode of Barney the Dinosaur. That definitely needed more work in the writer's room. I know I trashed this movie pretty hard, but it isn't entirely worthless. The animation worked for me. I know it might not be for everyone though. I definitely would have preferred traditional 2D, but this didn't make my eyes bleed or anything. The voice acting was very good. I really like Dahlia's voice actress a lot for some reason. The only voice acting I didn't like was the goat, which again adds nothing to the story and could be cut without losing a thing. Some of the songs are catchy. The overall message, albeit simple, is sweet and nice. Asha's determination is endearing, the villain is entertaining, and I appreciate the diverse cast of characters. I guess the best way to sum up this movie is just missed potential. Throw it in the same pot with Strange World in that regard. I'm giving Wish 5.5 Funtime Fox Feets out of 10. Thanks so much for watching my video. If any of you are curious, here's where Wish would go on my list of Disney animation films. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and leave a fun comment. I try to respond to as many as I can. With all that said and done, I'll see you in the next one, and remember, do better, Disney. Bye!